Good evening, guys. Another Saturday evening. And I have Gear Gridden as my co-host, and I'm ShadowScoutSwede. So we have Gardening Warrior Queen. Good to see you. Welcome to the stream, my friend. And we have a cutie cat on the stream too. Oh, that's cute. Hey, Seer. How are you doing, Garden Warrior Queen? I hope you are okay, and I hope you had a great week. And Thorhaven Farm, good to see you, my friend. And LG, also good to see you. LG is all over the YouTube. If you visit one stream, you can bet LG is there. Thor, if you want to join us up here, you can just click the link I pinned in the top of the chat. And we have Sandra Robinson in the house too. Good to see you. I hope you are okay, and I hope you had a great week. And we have babes in the toilet and other things. Good to see you too. So we are 3 in the house. Oh, that's okay. That is okay to lurk and be in the background. That is okay.
What are you baking for us, Q?
I'm doing great, my friend. Just tired, but I had a long day today. Gary, you look like an unhappy garden gnome.
I ain't fully awake yet.
Sandra says, I see a lot more people here than it says are here. Okay, that's interesting. And we have Hendo 19742 in the house. Good to see you again. No problem, Hendo.
Hey, Hendo.
Goldilocks, stop pooping in your compost after having too many nips of your liquor. It'll keep you from falling into your humor. Okay, I never heard that word before, but we are 8 in the house already. That's fast. I can't keep track on everybody. I feel like I missed someone. I probably did or not. No.
I think you got them all.
Yeah, 8 already. Yeah, I wonder that too.
Human manure?
Yeah, probably.
Would be
I never heard that word before, so speak of 8, I should have 8 beforehand. See, you always get hungry. Okay, thank you for that explanation. Have posted your live stream in WFF groups. Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that.
And
Uh, Today's topic actually is cabin fever. And before we get into that, I want to do like this: share, share screen, Chrome, and if I can find it. No, I don't find it there, so I have to do like this probably. Not that button. Wrong button. I pushed the wrong buttons today. Ah, there we have it. Okay, the today's topic is, as I said, cabin fever. So, what is cabin fever then? Well, it's a popular term for relatively common reaction to being isolated or confined for an extended period of time. Cabin fever is not a specific diagnosis, but rather a constellation of symptoms that can occur under these circumstances. So, that is what it is, basically. So, I put the link to this website in the description box so you can take a look at it. Look at it when you have time to if you feel for or up for it. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit tired. That's why I have some difficulties to talk sometimes. Um, but what is the symptoms of cabin fever then? Not everyone experiencing cabin fever will have exactly the same symptoms, but many people report feeling intensely irritable or restless. Other commonly experienced effects are changes in sleep patterns, decreased motivation, difficulty walking, waking, food cravings, frequent napping, hopelessness, lack of patience, lethargy, sadness or depression, trouble concentrating. Oh, Carmel, 30, good to see you. And Shawnee Shave, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Ann, good to see you too. So, note that these symptoms may also be indicative or of a wide range of other disorders. If these symptoms are distressing or impact your functioning, a trained mental health professional could help you determine if you have a treatable disorder. The question is next, what can cause the causes of cabin fever? Well, we humans are social beings, right? We need social interaction. We need to meet other people, and because we are It is basically the herd mentality. Um, we need other people to feel good, right? Um, People are likely to experience cabin fever when they feel like they are cut off from other people. Many people experienced this feeling during the COVID-19 pandemic due to social distancing, shelter in place orders, and quarantines. There was a significant shift in the amount of social contact people had for extended periods. Other factors that can cause symptoms of cabin fever include not being able to spend time with others due to illness or disability, feeling cut off from friends and loved ones after moving to a new location, being cooped up indoors due to inclement weather. So, guys, interesting topic, right? So, what do you say about that, Gear?
I
Hey,
say
girl.
if we could skip the end of January, it'd be all right.
Yeah,
Usually for me, about the end of January, beginning of February is usually the worst time of the year for me.
yeah. And some is the fall and the winter time. The whole winter and fall is depressing for some people. So,
Yeah, the end of January is usually when our winter is the worst here in my part of the world.
yeah, I bet it is. Um, have lots of projects ready for cabin fever months. Yeah, that's a good idea.
But having a bunch of chats and people to chat with help.
Yeah, I think that zombie apocalypse could cause cabin fever too. Yeah, I bet it would. Uh, no, January is our harshest weather month, says Babes in Thailand. Um, I plant my garden in Jan, so I have something to do. January always gets me down, even though it's my birthday in January. It's also the anniversary of my parents' house fire. Oh dear, that's tough, my friend.
Sorry to hear that about the fire, but that's
Yeah,
what I've done for years past is January order my seeds, plant my garden. But this year I've already have my seeds. I might order a couple more packs, but I don't really need any more.
hey Bob 942, good to see you.
But planning the layout of my garden, I'll probably plan it at least 5 times before I actually get it started. Hey Bob,
Yeah, Bob is a regular here, so thank you, Anne. I appreciate that. It also says it is also important to note that your overall personality can affect how well you can cope with some of these feelings. People with more introverted personalities, for example, might be better able to stay busy and entertained when they are cooped up at home. Those who are more extroverted, on the other hand, may struggle with feelings of isolation and loneliness to a greater degree. Um, yeah, I think so too, actually. Uh, if an introverted person or prefer to be alone and do things, um, but people who are extroverted needs to have people around them all the time, so they would probably suffer from the effects a little bit more than an introverted person. Hey, Guardian, do you want to join me up here too? And Bob? So, how to cope with your cabin fever? If your symptoms are relatively mild, taking active steps to combat your feelings may be enough to help you feel better. If they are impacting you more significantly, they are best addressed with the assistance of a therapist or other mental health professional. Hey, Thor,
How's
welcome.
Hope things are going amazing.
Yeah, everything goes.
Besides everyone suffering from cabin fever right now.
Yeah, the problem with cabin fever is people think that you can get there in an isolated and remote area, but that's wrong. You can get it even in the middle of a city if you're isolated and can't get out, and if you're alone.
Definitely.
I mean, I think you could get it even if you're with people, but with the wrong people.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you need to be with the right people, not the wrong ones.
No.
Right.
No, exactly.
They would not be good to have around you. They will not be as much as help as you think. They might say it, we can help you through this, but at the end they don't. So LG says, I was thrilled with the lockdowns because I finally had a break from being around people constantly, but I was upset when the parks closed. Yeah. Uh, the, the idea is to cope with this is get out of the house. If you are able to go outside even for a short time, take advantage of that opportunity. Research has found that spending time outside can be helpful for relieving stress, boosting mood, and improving overall feelings of well-being. Exposure to daylight can help regulate the body's natural cycles. Exercise releases endorphins, creating a natural high. Even a quick stroll can help you feel better quickly. If you are not able to leave the house at all, get close to a window and start moving around. Yeah,
I can see that. Just stuck at home, plastered up against the window. Anybody? Come save me.
Yeah, but the outdoors has a great impact on our well-being.
It does. You get outside in the
It,
sunlight, you
yeah,
pet some animals, you take a walk in the forest, you do that kind of stuff. It makes a huge difference.
yeah, it's relaxing too.
Yeah.
So, and the sounds that comes from when you're outdoors, from the animals, the wind in the trees, and things like that. I like that,
Yep, exactly.
and it's proven.
Especially when the sun's shining.
Yeah.
Except when everything's snow and then the sun's shining and you're going blind because it's too bright. Yeah.
Hey, Guardian, you have changed your name again.
Hey, what's up, Shadow? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just tired. I had a long day. I had been a board meeting on district level.
It's not too bad.
Hey, Bob.
Good to see everybody. Hello, Bob. Hello,
Yeah,
Phil.
good to see you guys.
How we doing?
Hey, Kaylin. Good to see you.
I'm pretty sure a board meeting would give you cabin fever almost instantly anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's not good for you. Not good.
No,
Not
no.
good. No. No, we usually travel over the Philippines during the winter time to see the family, where you get some sunshine on your face. You can wear short pants and go out and walk outside anytime you want. Man, it's very good for your health to go someplace and get sun. Get the sun. I used to have seasonal depression until I started doing this, and then after a few years, and after the participation with family and sun and exercise, it all pretty much took care of itself.
Yeah.
Don't forget sunscreen, though. Like, sunscreen's a really important thing.
Yeah.
It says also create a routine. When you're cooped up at home, not having a daily schedule or routine can worsen feelings of cabin fever. Research has shown that having regular routines can help people better cope with the feelings of anxiety and stress. So,
True.
when you start to feel symptoms of cabin fever, try creating a schedule that keeps you busy, socially connected, and healthy. Yeah, I think that is that is true. You need to have a routine. Otherwise, you will get crazy. Basically,
Yeah.
and
Uh,
cabin fever, you can get that even if it's not SHCF or collapse or everything like that, things like that. So you can get it, cabin fever, no matter what. So, but I think it would get worse. I think that would get worse in an SHDF or collapse.
yes, it certainly would.
I'm trying not to giggle every time you guys say cabin fever. Do you guys ever watch Muppet Treasure Island?
No.
No one has seen Muppet Treasure Island.
No,
with the Muppets, and it's like Treasure Island. You have to, because they do this one like little skit where they're stuck on a ship, like their pirate ship, and there's no wind blowing. They haven't moved in days, and they all start going psycho because they got cabin fever. It's hilarious.
Yeah, the Muppets are funny. So
I know. I'll have to send you guys the link for that one.
Yeah, please do.
I think cabin fever is is a segue into depression. And it's important to, once you start sliding into that, to do a few simple things, like get up and get dressed. Don't go around the house in your sleeping clothes, That's really important. And also to set very small goals each day to accomplish that are easy to accomplish. Not rebuilding an Oldsmobile transmission, but like a very simple things, like I'm going to do the dishes today. Little things.
Or collect wood.
Yeah. Go out and get enough wood stacked up for the fire today.
It's true that accomplishing stuff does make things better.
When you're not feeling good, the little things start with little baby bites.
Yeah. Because it is those little things that get harder to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's those as well. And also learning to not sweat the little things as well.
Yeah.
Like learning to kind of be, very nonchalant about things that really just don't matter.
Yep.
Like the dishes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil.
Sandra says, during the COVID-19, I learned painting and wire wrapping jewelry, making a resin artwork. I also because addicted to YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good point.
Mm-hmm. I'm retired, as most of you know, and it's very important for me to stay busy doing something. Stay busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are not the type of just sitting in a corner in your living room and watching TV.
Watching TV? No, I won't do that. Mm-hmm.
You're the more creative guy, so you need always something to do.
Always. Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a good thing to stay busy.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't seen my channel, but right now I'm turning coffee grounds, shredded up paper, cardboard, leaves into compost, or little balls of fertilizer for my potted plants for next spring. Drying them out on the floor, I'll box them up, store them, so that when next spring comes, all I have to do is take those little dried up balls of household waste, is what it is, reconstitute it, put it in with the potting soil, and I'm on my way.
Nice.
And it keeps me busy, keeps my hands busy, keeps me doing something, looking forward to tomorrow. But
yes.
that's very important for me anyway, because when you retire, man, it is a blow to your body and your mind. All of a sudden, what am I now? I remember it was one of, all those years. I'm an aircraft mechanic for Boeing. And then I remember I turned to my wife about a week or so into retirement, and I said, well, what am I now? What am I? What's my identity? And she just says, you're retired. Okay, that's a new change in your life, guys. It'll come to you as long as you stay healthy and don't do stupid things and get killed.
Yeah. And it also says here, maintain normal eating patterns. For many of us, a day stuck at home is an excuse to overindulge in junk food. Others skip meals altogether. However, eating right can increase our energy levels and motivation. You may feel less hungry if you are getting less exercise, but monitor your eating habits and to ensure that you maintain the proper balance of nutrition. Limit high sugar, high fat snacks, and drink plenty of water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and we talked about goals here. Set goals.
Yeah.
When you're stuck in a house, you may be more likely to while away the time doing nothing of importance. Set daily and weekly goals and track your progress toward completion. Make sure that your goals are reasonable and reward yourself for meeting each milestones. So that is true.
Very
Yeah,
true.
you can't be too down on yourself when you don't like succeed every single time. You're supposed to aim for the goals, but the thing is, if you feel too, if you let yourself down and if you feel really, demoralized when you don't always complete your goals, you can absolutely end up having a bit of a reverse effect. So it's good to just
Absolutely.
keep on
Yeah.
moving forward when you don't hit your targets with your goals, and just keep on moving forward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same thing, CR. In the morning, I use a French press, so I walk out the back porch the next morning and just toss my coffee
Throw it
grounds off
out.
the back porch.
Certainly.
You know,
Yeah, I keep mine.
hits the garden, hits the lawn, hits
You
whatever.
bet.
Yeah.
I keep mine in an empty coffee can. And here's there's not much left. It's just liquid right now. And
Yeah.
then
I find it's nice because once
Welcome,
I layer
Julio.
the snow
See
with
you.
coffee, it melts faster too.
Oh, yeah.
Navigating the nonsense. Good to see you too, and welcome to the stream, my friend.
Well, I'll be right back.
Yeah. And another thing here, what I mention is use your brain. Although TV is a distraction, it is also relatively mindless. Work crossword, puzzles, or read books, or play board games. Stimulating your mind can help keep you moving forward and reduce feelings of isolation and helplessness. Look online for websites, games, and apps that help keep you engaged while challenging your mind. And, of course, the exercise. Even if you cannot leave the house, find a way to stay physically active while indoors. Regular physical activity can help burn off an extra energy you have from being coped indoors. Indoor exercise ideas include workout videos, body weight workouts, and online workout routines.
I find I always start making extra bread. I'll try and bake some more, try and make some more muffins for the kids, that kind of stuff. So I'm, again, trying to stay busy, trying to little things to complete and do. And it makes you feel accomplished too. You make some muffins and that's like, okay, good. Did that.
Yeah.
The kids have some snacks. I don't have to worry about going to the grocery store as much now. So
Yeah, there's a lot of keeping the mind healthy and keeping the mind active is extremely important as well. I absolutely agree, Shadow. It's a big thing about that. And then also there's a lot of games that you can actually make out.
They say playing Sudoku helps you like from getting like dementia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sudoku specifically?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting as well. Like,
nice.
And I could see how that would actually work. Like the way that your brain has to function in a certain way as well. Like pretty much exercising your brain. That's why you'll never grow old as long as you keep learning. And that's a huge thing as well. Like just keep your brain fresh, learn new things. Yeah, go ahead, Shadow.
Yeah.
I just want to add that 2 cents there.
Yeah, when to seek help. Okay, the cabin fever can go so far that you can't do it manage by yourself, so you need to seek help. If the symptoms of cabin fever persist after taking steps to address them or are accompanied, I can't pronounce the words. Sorry, I'm tired. That's why it doesn't. I have some problems with the pronunciation.
It's all good.
By other mental health symptoms, talk to your doctor or mental health professional. Symptoms to watch for include a lack of interest or motivation, difficult sleeping, changes in appetite, changes in mood. Such symptoms might indicate a mental health condition such as depression or anxiety. An accurate diagnosis can help you get the appropriate treatment, which may involve psychotherapy, medication, or a combination of the two.
Yeah, they don't use shock therapy so much anymore.
That's only in the severe cases. Yeah.
But I think Guardian's on a good path right now doing it's got his exercise goals, and so then again you get the exercise and you've got your goals, you've got a destination to hit. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I've got a, for those who don't know, I'll just mention it briefly during the stream as well, but like I've got a huge fitness challenge coming up for next year as well. I'll speak more about it in the future as well. I appreciate that, Thor. Thank you.
No problem. It's a great thing to do.
Thank you, Kaylin. I appreciate it. I played chess during 2020 more long.
Chess is an awesome game. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
We should start a chess stream like once a week. We should maybe just do like a chess game or so. Get it.
That's an awesome idea.
That's an awesome idea.
Yeah.
Because then you can also chat around the game as well, and like it can also be something where we get to know people, and it's just you keep it casual, keep it fun, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. Challenge
and the
each
coolest
other.
thing with chess I find is even if you're playing someone who's not that good, you're still learning. So it's not like, say, hockey or something like that where you play someone who's not that good and it's kind of bad. You play chess with a beginner and you're still learning too while you're doing that and playing.
Hugo says, it's funny that this is the discussion today. I decided to do nothing. I desperately need a break, taking a mental health day, no prepping or working.
Yeah, that is perfect for this stream that we're in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Because you do need the downtime too.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, and what I noticed is no channels, or especially the prepper channels, has not mentioned cabin fever at all.
Or mental health. Very seldom. Very seldom. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and cabin fever is not a disease. It's a constellation of different symptoms, basically.
Yeah.
I noticed it. I guess I could call it cabin fever. It was that kind of issue when we started 2020 with the whole thing, because I started working at home. I'm in a province where I don't speak the language, so I have very few friends around that I can call on to get together. Like, even going to my neighbor who speaks mostly French, he does speak a bit of English, but again, it's, trying to get in that group of people that you want to hang out with. So it was good being able to go to work and actually talk with people. So I find it good that, doing these lives every now and then and other stuff where I'm just conversing with people, that sort of thing.
Yeah, Kaylin, you can download chess and play against the computer.
Yeah,
I had that on my older computer I had. I played chess. It was fun.
So we can't speak about chess without bringing up, I don't know if you're all familiar with the recent drama, if you stay on top of that type of thing with the International Chess Masters drama. There was a lot of, well, I won't get, the details are pretty interesting to say the least. So I won't get into it here, but there was a lot of drama. Basically, that somebody was, it was claimed that somebody was cheating.
No, he was cheating.
Using a very interesting.
It was confirmed. He admitted it.
Yeah, it's a big thing, but we'll chat about it at some point.
Can I touch on what Thor said a moment ago about being in a place where communication is difficult? That's challenging.
Bob, you probably had that
I know all about that. Yeah. Like it can be very frustrating because, well, we go to the Philippines and some of my nieces went to private schools and their English is very good. And some of my nieces and cousins and all did not. They went to public school and they understand what I say to them, but they can't answer back very well. Their English is really limited. I give you one example. Is we do some drumming and we make music while we're at the house, and one of my nieces who went to a public school, I could hear her in her bedroom singing. She's got a beautiful voice. And I asked her, can you just make some notes while we're making music? Like like a background singer. And she just said, that's not my type of music. So no,
it's not yours either, Bob.
Well, no, and you know what I mean. I know what you're talking about, Thor, because I have to let a lot of things go because there's just a lack of communication, man. That's tough. That's hard. It's hard to deal with. But yeah, I thought I'd just throw that in there. I'm with you on that. I understand that. That's how I drive the stray cats away from the
house. I start doing that. My basset hound starts.
Stop it!
Yeah, Kaylin says, when I was in Mexico back in the 86, some in our group were beginning Spanish learners, so they had a harder time to talking with their housemates. Yeah, Spanish is not the easiest language to learn.
Yeah, and we went to Spain, actual Spain, where their language came from. But I'm used to hearing Latino Spanish here. Yeah. Theirs is completely different.
It's different.
Way different. Mm-hmm.
Gear, can I ask you if that's the eggnog that you just had there? I just want to find out from Gear if that's eggnog. Like, it looked like an enjoyable drink. Sorry.
Oh, he's got.
Hey, Lashira Crush It. Good to see you.
Well, how about
time of year for eggnog? Though. I love eggnog.
There's another.
Go make some.
Another old world mental health condition. They also called it spring fever. Have you guys ever heard of that?
It's the opposite of cabin fever.
Yeah, it's where you're overwhelmed with things to do, and people tend to overwork themselves and even receive injuries because they're doing too much.
Oh, I was thinking spring break.
Exactly like my
that's spring break. Yeah, that's on the beaches of California, dude. No. Or Mexico, Mexico.
Yeah, I could see that being an issue too. It's like trying to get everything done before, especially like you're starting to plant seeds, get animals, get everything going. It just,
But I think that goes into trying to stay fit and active during the winter. So when you've got all these things you have to accomplish because it's finally stopped raining, finally stopped snowing, and stay fit as much as you can so you don't get a strains and bruises and injuries during the springtime now you're under a deadline. You got to get the seeds in the ground. You've got to prepare the soil. You've got to many different things come in the springtime.
Last year, just starting to seed and like coming off the winter where I wasn't moving much, and then suddenly now I've got a seed and now I've got to prep the gardens, and it's just like, after a day of that, or like trying to bend down and plant those seeds or dig the little trenches, you start feeling it.
Yeah. I recall going to my doctor's office sometime in the early summer, late spring, early summer, and the waiting room was full of people. And I asked my doc when it was finally my time to go into the exam office, and I said, "What's going on?" He goes, "It happens every spring and early summer. People who've been sitting still all winter get out and now they're trying to play volleyball,
Yeah.
and they get these sprained ankles and back injuries because they didn't stay flexible and continue moving during the winter, and now they get all these injuries.
Yeah. I think I'm going to do what the bears do and just hibernate.
Hibernate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got a pretty wife to keep you warm.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
Yeah,
That's
that
a
works
compliment.
too.
That's a compliment, you know. Spring break,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that cabin fever is just an old school way of saying seasonal depression. To me, that's what it means to me.
Yes and no. Because, for example, I would think it did come from being locked up in a cabin or locked up on a ship for long voyages.
Yeah.
So, possibly. And then kind of used as you're stuck inside or stuck at your location later on.
Yeah.
But I think this time of year is where it really hits.
I never thought of it in the direction of being on a ship. That makes a lot of sense. Where you're have limited space, you can't walk, you can't get out and go jogging, you can't go outside to do very much. You're stuck on a limited space. Yeah, that makes sense. I never thought of it in that direction.
Yeah, I had been on a research ship when I was 16. And I was on the sea for a week. And trust me, you don't have much space to move on. You can't run. Because if you run, you would definitely hurt yourself. and the corridors are so narrow, so I can barely move straight forward like this. Otherwise, I had to do this because it's so narrow on some.
Yeah. Guardian, just remember that when you build your boat, make sure you don't get caught up in the cabin fever.
Maybe put a treadmill on board of it if you can.
Yeah.
Because there was an old that goes into
Hook
another
it up
old
to like a water wheel, so that's like propulsion. There you go.
An old saying too went back during the sailing ship days. They called it sea legs. As soon as you've landed and you get off the boat, their physical fitness was very limited, and their legs would get tired quickly. Old school, very long time ago. Sailing ship would take a couple of months to get from Europe to the New World.
Yeah. Maybe some trips could take over a year, 2 years, maybe 3 sometimes. If they hit some problems, it could take 3 years. So that's a long time at sea.
Yeah.
If you look into the history of old sailing ships, the Captain Bligh, most people have heard of him because his ship was mutinied. But he was one hell of a sailor and a very smart captain, because he would have his crew come up on the deck, and he had a man who could play a violin, and he forced his crew members to dance.
Yeah, forced them.
30 minutes every day, and of course that was hard feelings. But in those times when there was limited education for the crew, they didn't realize what he was doing. He was keeping them physically fit and active to fight depression and cabin fever. It was very smart.
I wonder if that did help kind of push them to mutiny after everything else that had happened.
I understand it did, because most of the crew members were not accustomed to that.
No.
They had sailed already on different ships, and that wasn't done. And they thought it was a form of abuse.
And then with all the other stuff he pulled.
Yeah, he was not a nice guy, but
No.
yeah. Well, that was part of the Royal Navy back in those times was pretty harsh.
Oh, yeah. And the captains were pretty tough, too. You don't mess with the captain on a ship like that.
No.
No, the captain of a ship in those times was God Almighty. And,
They were judge and jury, too.
Yes, sir, they were.
I think you had to have a bit of that, but I think some went overboard with it. Overboard.
Overboard. Walk the plank. Perhaps some of them did, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
But I can't stress enough how important it is. Take it from someone who could fall into cabin fever easily, but you've got to stay busy. You must stay busy doing something. You have to.
Me too, because unlike a few of you have said you're introverts, I'm an extrovert. So I need that interaction with other people to
Me too.
Go and go and go. And so
these lives do help because prior to me going on lives, I recall, sitting here for weeks without speaking a word. Just, we'll wait till my wife got home and then I had someone to talk to. And that's not good for you.
No. I'm lucky. At least I'm in sales, so I can phone my clients and talk to my clients and that kind of stuff. But
yeah, very good.
Yeah.
And back on those old sailing ships in the 1600s, that's why the sailors, when they had free time, they could do whatever they want. What they did was tying decorative knots. They could make a whip, they could make a doormat, they could do... Because that kept them busy.
Yeah. And cleaning in the Navy situation, I don't know about the civilian fleets, but cleaning was a very important part because it kept the men busy, kept their hands busy. It kept them accomplishing goals every day,
Yeah. Those make work projects, but those make work projects were what mattered when you needed stuff to not only get done, but keep guys busy.
Yeah.
If there was anything that was important about this topic as well, like honestly, from the bottom of my heart, right? Like I genuinely believe that the most absolute important thing that anybody can do is be comfortable with who they are and be happy with the person that they are. And if you're happy with who you are, you don't mind spending forever alone. Like the funny thing is about my wife and I is we both can be completely independent. Like, you know what I mean? Like we don't need to have each other around. Like it's just, we always in each other's company because we enjoy it, but it's not like something that we have to have. It's just, I spent a long time alone as well. Like I've spent a large amount of time by myself, even though I am somebody that's charismatic and extroverted and that type of thing. But like what I'm saying is, above everything else, is that being happy with who you are, and it doesn't, not happy with who you are physically. I'm speaking about happy with who you are mentally, like on a mental and like a soul kind of level, like with who you are. And it doesn't matter about age, it doesn't matter about any of this silly external nonsense. Like, so yeah, that's just my 2 cents. Is definitely like just being at peace with yourself. And Bob was saying keep busy. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you can keep your mind busy, and that's part of being at peace and being happy with yourself, because then you're able to like entertain yourself mentally and just think about different things. And if you've got something that you can also keep busy, like a book or something as well, even if you read it 100 times, the same book, it can still be useful.
Learning to be happy with yourself takes years.
And
it does. It takes a lot of work.
I want to touch on that too. It's not being happy with what you've accomplished. It's not being happy with
yes, you're right.
that kind of stuff. It's just being mentally happy, being you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that surface level materialistic stuff. That's exactly it. It's not that at all. It's about being your own friend, basically.
Yeah.
I found something that is very important for me. Keeping cabin fever away example is okay. I see this over here. I'm mixing leaves in with all this compost that I'm making. Okay, I'm going to have to shut things down here because we're going to travel in a couple of days. There's a bowl full of leaves that I got off the grass out there, and I know I need to take that out and dump it, get them out of the house because we're going to be leaving for a few weeks. Don't just sit there and look at what needs to be done. Get up and do it. Even if it hurts your legs to do it, even if you have to force yourself to do it, don't sit there and look at it. You understand? You must attack it. You must go at it and tackle that project, even if it's a simple little thing. Because if you sit there and look at it and fret and think and, oh God, I don't want it, I'll wait till late. Don't wait till later. If something needs to be done, get up and go at it. Do it. Physically do it. That's important for me.
I was gonna say, Bob, like when you're saying that whole fretting and worrying and thinking, and
it builds,
and that is a worse feeling than the physical and mental feeling of actually accomplishing the project you have to do.
Correct. That's important for me, for my learned skills of dealing with cabin fever or seasonal
after
depression.
You finish it, bam! Now you get the payoff of feeling good, and
You've got to also analyze situations that are out there that we already have case studies of. Like the actual situations in the world right now that we can look at are things such as prisons, like where people are put in segregation for longer periods as well. Like you got to look at places as well where there are actually families that live in extremely remote areas as well. How do they deal with it? The best way of like understanding and any sort of like analyzing any situation such as this, such as cabin fever, is honestly to just look at not just the past but genuinely the present, where there are people that are living in extreme isolation, where there are people that are living in situations where they just genuinely can't really connect to other people. And those people, the way that they deal with it, time and time and time again, the way that the people deal with it is either they get closer to God, or they do a lot of workouts, they do a lot of fitness, they do a lot of exercise. But like, look at overall, like they have more time to think and contemplate, and then that draws them closer to their creator, whoever their creator may be. Even if their creator is just Mother Earth and Gaia itself, which is, I believe, is wonderful. But it's just like, whatever that may be, let like yourself just, have time with who you are and stuff as well. And I think that that's something that goes back to what I was saying.
Another thing is animals. If you have an animal, it's amazing for company, and it's also something you have to take care of. It forces you to do the work.
One thing you're right about that. I do miss having a cat, because my cats have been my best buddy, but we don't have one right now. But one thing, a piece of advice from an older guy, is during the winter months, watch your alcohol intake. Really, just monitor it, because alcohol is a depressant, and alcohol is a depressant, and it's easy to fall into addiction, and that makes the situation even worse.
No, and the problem is most people that can't handle it, I take a glass of wine or whiskey or whatever, and they are stuck into it because they don't. I just take this one and no more, and they keep going.
I have no input on this conversation right now at all.
But see, you're in a situation, Thor, where you are able to remain active because your livestock still needs to be fed. The
I
stalls
have
need to
to.
be
It's
mucked
like,
out.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
but someone who lives in an apartment who doesn't have that, watch the alcohol amount. I still once in a while, every week or two, I'll go get a growler of ale and have a few drinks on a live, and that's the most I will do, especially during the winter. But when we're overseas where it's warm outside and we're active and we're busy conversing, then my alcohol level will increase. But if I drank that much here in the cold Pacific Northwest, I would be in trouble. I could be in trouble because there's a lot like machine tools here. If I'm drinking, I don't operate my machine tools.
Yeah, I was gonna say, take it from me. Keep busy doing stuff, and then you'll drink less. That's what I find. If I've got projects to do, I'm out driving the tractor, I'm running the kids around, going into work, dealing with clients, and well, not really dealing with clients because that makes me drink more too. But drinking with the clients, but any of that kind of stuff, you're keeping busy, so you're not snacking, you're not drinking, and you're being physically fit, you're activating your brain, exercising your brain, exercising your body. It's extremely beneficial in that regard. Speaking of which, I need to grab another drink.
I'm gonna get a coffee. I'll be right back.
But no, actually,
Okay.
I gotta jump off. I gotta start dinner. Start the pressure cooker, and I got 2 loaves of bread to do. So, but I'm gonna be on my phone, listening and commenting as well. So,
Sure.
Well,
Catch up
take
with you.
care,
Thank you for
Thor.
jumping in, Thor.
Thanks for stopping by, and thanks for coming up on the panel.
all good. We'll catch up with you guys shortly.
Chat to you
Yeah.
soon, Thor.
Bye bye.
But anyway, it's an interesting topic, and I got the idea from actually CR. So, and I was thinking that why don't any other channels talking about cabin fever and mental health? Because it is basically to do with the mental health, because it's a mental health issue.
So I can give you my thoughts just on this. The only way on the topic that I can give you is like my own opinion, right? And the reason why I don't really touch on the topic is because it's not like my life has always been peachy, but I just don't understand depression. I've seen depression. I've seen people who are depressed, and I've never been depressed in the way, like in long-term actual psychosis type of depression. So because of my respect for people that do suffer, because of my respect for, well, not just my respect, but my like empathy towards people that do suffer with that, like it's just something that it's not like a strong point of mine. So like when it comes to that type of thing, like I love psychology, but I enjoy speaking about the psychology of preparedness, absolutely. But when it comes to depression, it's just not something that is really in my expertise at all. So I just don't want to speak about stuff that I don't know anything about.
Here is a very good thing that I've learned being married to a Filipina. That's very good for your mental health, and they do it constantly there, is singing. Karaoke over there is a big part of their life. Try it. When you start feeling bad about yourself or your situation, sing. Let it fly. It really helps your mental health. And dancing too. That's what they do to pass the time. Sing and dance. It's healthy. It really is healthy.
Yeah, and karaoke is part of their culture, so
Big time. Yeah.
hey, Big Sons Lawn Care, good to see you, my friend. How are you doing?
I would be. I don't know if I would be able to sing in those situations. I think I could actually fall into like a bit of. I could become like like it could actually become like actually problematic. Like I could become like psycho, or you whistle or something like that's. If I come across somebody who's alone and they're busy like singing or something or whistling, that's very like cool. It's a big red flag for me. You know what I'm saying?
You know, here, those drums that are on my wall. That's one thing that keeps my spirits up. Is I'll sing. I'll put on some music here, and I'll sing and pound on a drum, and it's physical activity and it's singing combined together. It makes me feel good. It wakes me up. It wakes my body and my brain up, and I love it. It works very well for me.
Yeah, that's exactly it for you. Yeah, like if something works for you, absolutely. Like if something, because we all are different, and you should definitely find something that does work for you, and then absolutely embrace that.
Yeah, something that's recreational that doesn't, especially art. Art is really important for cabin fever. Some sort of art, because art, there's no right and there's no wrong.
You can
understand?
Carve a spoon. You can carve a
Certainly.
bowl. You can
Certainly.
put a wooden sculpture or whatever you want.
You can look outside your house and make sketches of what you see. I'm not a pencil and paper artist, but that works for some people. Keeps them active. You're right. You're right, Ciara. It does. It reduces one's morale. It's true. It really does.
And this is something I can agree with. Music is the universal language.
It is. It certainly is. Well, speaking from my 4 years in the military, I'm going to go back to cleaning. Now it's easy to fall into what they used to call melancholy, which means depression, because you're far away from home, you're lonely, and that's one of the reasons why the military has you keep your barracks room, your uniform spotlessly clean, keeps you busy, keeps you moving. The military doesn't like you sitting still doing nothing. They want to make sure you're doing something. So we cleaned the airplanes, we cleaned the ground equipment, we cleaned our tools. That's all part of morale.
Hugo says, I make knit hats to donate. Yeah, that's another good idea. If you learn to knit.
So,
but Ciara has a point here. Having cabin fever reduces one's morale, I believe. Yeah, it does. I took one of my bunnies to the coat drive to drop off hats, and when we ended up staying all afternoon because the kids loved the bunny. That's awesome.
Yeah, I recall one event we participated in the military. Was my group is aircraft mechanics and maintenance, and then we were all put on buses and we were taken to Area 2, where they were all civil engineers. These guys build runways and buildings. And we had a day with them, looking at their equipment and then talking with them what they do, how they do their jobs and stuff. And then during that visit, they had us aircraft mechanics versus civil engineers on a tug of war. That was fun. That was fun. That I had more fun doing that than I mean, when they lined us all up and, okay, you guys start pulling, and I was sitting there going, what in the hell are we doing this for? This is not a picnic, but it was good for morale because we got to laugh and shout and cheer, and it was a good time.
When I was a kid, many of the men in this town used to work a month on and a month off on lightships and lighthouses. Near enough, all of them knitted and did decorative knotwork. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they could do a whip, they could do a basket, they could do a carpet and table runner. They could create awesome things.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually decorated their own tools with the knots too. So,
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah.
and those big, these big brown glass, what do you call them, bottles?
Mm-hmm.
They has a narrow neck and they go like this.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
You know those. They used to put some knots around it, tie knots around it, so it got looked like a net. So
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that done before. In fact, some of the secondhand stores around here, you can still find bottles like that.
Yeah, they did it on bottles, whatever they could find.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mats, coasters, all sorts.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
And some of these decorative nuts took time to finish because they are so advanced and complicated.
Yeah, they are.
Making ships in bottles was very popular too. They would be swept for supplies at the local pubs when they came home. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the old words, and now they've morphed into a medical diagnosis like melancholy. Now it's called depression.
Yeah.
The cabin fever, spring fever. Now it's play on words. Things change. The human condition doesn't change, but the titles change.
Yeah.
I think it's also really important for me to stay away from the news services. I stay away from that. I don't watch it. I will watch a little bit of local news occasionally, very very occasionally, but being involved in that mass media, it's bad for your health. It really is bad for your health because they want to create sensationalism to get you to come back and sit on your ass in front of the TV even more. And that's very bad for your health.
Indeed. But these shrinks need to keep themselves busy too, which is why they keep inventing new names for old issues.
I agree with you, Andy. I agree. Yeah.
I'll be back in about half an hour if possible. I'm just going to take care of something quickly.
Okay, no problem.
Cool. Yeah.
It was the same with ADHD.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, they called DAMP, basically, DAMP. So, but I don't like that term. ADHD sounds better than the AMP.
Yeah, it just seems. I watched something about that. How these psychiatrists and psychologists get together at annual meetings and they vote on what these conditions should now be called, the proper title. Now they're putting a title on everything. It's like, like you got a hyperactive little boy, a little boy who loves adventure, he's busy, and now they call it ADHD.
Yeah.
Well, I look at it like, that kid just needs more to do. He's bored. Give him something constructive to do. Now,
Build something.
and of course, the pharmaceuticals have to come up with a medication to control that. And we put a label on it. Now we need pills to control that child and sell more. I think it's terrible, man.
And it says, got rid of TV back in 2003 and not look back. Can summarize what TV meant to me easily. Death, misery, suffering, greed, and finally brain numbing.
Yeah, it's true, Andy. I haven't had any cable TV for well over 10 years. Way over 10 years. Disconnected the cable and never went back to it again. And we do have we just recently got a smart TV. Now we can watch what we want to watch or be entertained by music or like my wife, for example, she was in the kitchen last night when she came home from work preparing some food, and there's a priest in Cebu City. She loves to watch his ministry in her language, and but if you're on that cable TV, you're never going to see that. You're never going to see anything good with a good message or a good something that you want. You're only going to be funneled into what they want, and 80% of it is marketing and propaganda. I despise the television. I recommend anyone to disconnect that cable and don't go back. You will begin to feel better very quickly.
And how addictive are those pills, Bob?
Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? Yeah. Well, yeah, Sandra, you bring up a good point that I recall one lady, she had her daughter on what was that back in the 90s, Ritalin. That's an amphetamine. That's a controlled substance. She had her daughter on that stuff. And her daughter was like 9 or 10 years old. And they're spoon feeding her basically meth, but it's okay because it's a pill and it came from a doctor. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. Yeah.
The problem with the technology we have today and these days is whenever, let's say, if the grid goes down for a long period of time and you can't use your computer, you can't get on the internet, nothing. That is a high risk you can get cabin fever.
Yeah.
So you need to find another way to make you occupied.
Yeah.
And busy. And you have to find ways day by day. And set some goals day by day, small goals you need to have to do.
We were talking about tying knots and things like that.
Yeah.
I do that as recreational. These are yard ornaments. These are just yard ornaments. These little strips of fabric. This is just simple wire
Yeah.
and strips of fabric from my wife's old uniforms. I cut it into strips, tie it onto this wire, and this is some yarn. These are things that I've done when we've had power failures, and make fire starters with waxed fire starters while the power is out. And I right behind me is a boxes full of stuff like this that I get secondhand for very affordable prices, and it keeps me busy, keeps my hands busy.
Yeah.
I can do it even on lantern light, and I've done it before. I remember we were out of power during the Seattle riots. We were out of power for days because they were cutting down the power poles and lighting forest fires. I just sat there at the dining room table and tied together fire starters, for lighting cooking fires or whatever I needed. I keep supplies like that on hand. It's sitting right behind me here. All this stuff here is secondhand stuff from out of secondhand stores. Cheap.
Yeah.
That works. That kind of stuff works for me. It keeps away the cabin fever. You can do it in the dark or limited light.
And that is good exercise too, to do it in limited light.
Mm-hmm.
That makes you use your fingertips.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. That's why my hands are still pretty muscular and pretty strong.
Yeah, I can see that you have worked a lot with your hands.
Yeah.
Looks like one of my boxes all full of bits of junk, and that come in handy for something or other.
Yeah. Yeah, Andy, make art out of it. Make ornaments, hang in the trees in your garden. That's what I do with this stuff.
Yeah, it kills the time.
Yep. Art is really important for cabin fever. It's very important. I'm not too much into reading. That's not really my thing, but doing creativity is my thing,
Yeah.
Because like I said, I'll say it again, when you retire, it is a big change to your mind and your body. And you've got to find something to keep yourself occupied, or else you're going to fall into depression and alcoholism and drug abuse. I've two of my friends that retired just about the same time I did. Both. One is on meth now, and the other is a hardcore alcoholic. Both of them. And they've ruined they worked their whole lives to get the pension to come in, and now they've ruined their lives.
Yeah. Because they can't handle it.
Yeah.
They can handle their retirement, and they turn to alcohol and drugs because they don't have any other hobbies.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They're the same age as I am.
Yeah, and they need to get themselves a hobby of some kind. It doesn't matter if it's painting, fishing, build something.
Mm-hmm. I've seen it my firsthand. In fact, they used to be on my Facebook, and the one fella who got into the meth, I took him off my Facebook, and I even forbid him from coming to my home. As long as you're using, you're not coming to my house. And
Yeah.
the other guy, at 10 p.m. every night on my Facebook, he would ping me drunk every day drunk. And the guy on meth, he's now pretty much homeless. And he's my age. He worked at Boeing like I did with good paychecks, and he's homeless. The other fella, his because of alcoholism, his home has fallen into rack and ruin, and he lives basically in a garbage dump. These were two of my constituents for years, and cabin fever can lead into some real sicknesses that will destroy your life unless you learn how to take care of yourself. You know, it's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
I agree.
You know, I'll go back over it again. Things that have helped me: singing, beating on a drum, tying knots, making art. So I would say simple things: singing and making art will keep you busy, and it'll keep you from grabbing that next bottle of whiskey, or at least it can help you to avoid that. You know.
Origami too. Origami is not that easy.
Well, there's a stigma, a social stigma, um, that any man who does art is feminine, and if you have other men around you who will bully you, they don't want to see you doing something creative. It's that crab mentality. If you start becoming happier, and they're going to reach up and pull you down to their level, so you're sitting on a bar stool next to them. They don't want you to leave that bar stool. They want to keep you right next to them, right down where they are. That's why I think that some men won't go into art or hobbies. They're afraid of the criticism that they're gonna receive.
Yeah.
And it affects them. Distance yourself from harmful people like that. Get away from them. Walk away. You know. Oh yeah, Andy. Yeah, all given to you by. I had a spell where I was on antidepressants years and years and years ago, but I found that exercise and sun got me off that stuff. I don't need it anymore. And then the exercise makes you start feeling better and makes your mind work better, and start going into art. And you know, you can walk away from that stuff.
Yeah.
Some of you've got to be careful about the doctor that you select. It's big. If the only answer they have to any of your problems is take a bottle of pills, well,
you should be pretty skeptic to that.
yes. I recall one instance when I was going for one of those face masks to help you breathe at night when you sleep, whatever. And I walked away from this doctor who was part of it because he prescribed me this medication, and he says, you're going to have to take this for the rest of your life. I went, oh, hell no. This guy's selling a bill of goods. And I found out that one of the things that was difficult for me, making it difficult for me to sleep, was I was overweight. So as soon as I lost the weight, well, I was able to sleep better. But his answer was, what do they call those face mask things, and pills? It's like, no, dude, we ain't doing that. You know.
We have Drub's family garden in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Pill pushes are rampant. I take no pharma and I'm almost 60. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the word, Gergrid, and I was just looking for that word. CPAP. Yeah.
Oh yeah, CPAP. Yeah, that doc gave me some prescription and says you're going to have to take these for the rest of your life. That's when I went, oh, dude, you ain't right, and I'm not taking your pills. You know?
Exercise is good, but for those of us who struggle to simply move around without great pain, need to find something else to give life purpose again.
Right, Andy. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That perhaps cleaning different objects in your home would be something that you can do to keep yourself busy and also improve the appearance of the inside of your home. That works for me. Some of the lives I've been on and other, I make my own candles, and the candle glass, I'll polish it. I've got some polishing compound. I don't need to do it, but I want to do it.
There are many ways to control things with natural herbal medicine. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. I know someone that refuses to train their fluffy dog and then just gives it doggy meds to calm down. Huh.
Good evening, gents.
Hey, Andy.
You got proper Englishman on in there.
Hello, Andy.
I don't speak the Queen's English, but I do speak what used to be Prince Philip's English. Think back to some of their travels, like to China. I was going to say, controversial or not, don't know. The only pain meds I use now, Drop, are paracetamol, and I don't use them too often because they're not good for the liver. What was it? An anti-inflammatory cream for my neck because I got smashed up discs in my neck as well as my lower back. But that stuff, medical cannabis, that has been a life changer for me. That I use 0.4 of 1 mil. Now, if you don't know how to put that into some sort of meaningful context, a level teaspoon is 5 mil. And I use 0.4 mil of that at night because about an hour after I've taken it, I'm not fit to drive. For want of better words, I'm approaching the point of being stoned. If I took any more than a 0.4, I probably would be stoned, but that's not why I want to take it. That stuff there, I don't know how, but that has brought sleep back into my life. The simplest of things, and yet so vital.
Sleep's very important.
Yeah, telling me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, gents, I've got my heating on for the first night this year, and I'm starting to sweat now.
Yeah.
Yes, I've got rid of the little dead rat going up the front of my head, Yarn.
Yeah. Long time no see, Andy.
Yeah, I've sort of pretty much stayed away from too much interaction.
Well, I'm going to have to bounce down, guys. It's time for me to get something to eat, some lunch. So
enjoy.
Yeah. Peace out, you guys. Good topic, Shadow. Later all.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Stay safe.
What was I saying? Yeah, I stayed off because, how can I put this diplomatically? The drama.
Yeah.
Everywhere I turned, the drama began to drag me down, and I just, as soon as anything starts to drag me down now, I just turn around and walk away from it.
Well, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. It's either that or you end up traveling the world trying to hunt someone down to sort it out face to face with them, and then you find out they're like a 7-year-old kid with keyboard warrior fever.
Yeah, I remember I saw you at Stay North when I met you first time. You were on his panel a lot of time, frequently.
Yeah, but what sort of time of day was that, Joran? That was stupid o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And now I sleep.
Yeah.
Unlike all that crap the doctor gives me, that stuff's non-addictive. Because if it comes around to the time of night where I'm due to take that and I'm feeling really tired, I just don't take it. And I might go 2 or 3 weeks without taking it again till I get a couple of rough nights. And I just, hey presto.
Yeah, you have changed a lot since I saw you last time.
Same background. There's a bit of tinsel up there to make it festive, but that's about it.
Yeah. And you have shaved off your beard too.
Yeah, that had to go. That got to the state. I am scared of spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'd be lying there at night and I'd move my head a bit in my sleep. And of course, that big long goatee would drag along my chest and I'd be out of bed freaking out. What is that? And it done it one too many times one night, and I just went off to the kitchen, would snip, threw it in the bin, and then shaved it off the next morning.
Yeah. LG says chamomile tea, but partially I have chronic nightmares, night terrors that keep me waking frequently every night. That sucks.
That's one of those things. If it was me that was suffering with it, I'd want to find the root cause of that. I'm not interested in treating the symptoms. I want to treat the problem. Does that make sense?
You should treat the what caused it.
Yeah.
Not the symptoms. You need to find the root to the problem and treat it that way. If you treat the symptoms, it's still there. You just make it easier, and
it might help in the short term, but in the long term, you don't get anywhere with it.
I agree.
You know, if you've got pneumonia, there's no point the doctor addressing the fact that you got a runny nose.
Yeah.
He needs to get in there and fix your lungs. Have you tried valerian root, LG? Valerian root is supposed to be very good. I've not taken it personally. But do you know what the pharmaceutical industry done with valerian root? They synthesized its best properties and called it Valium.
Yeah, traumatic experiences can mess things up. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, valerian root is good for relaxation.
Yeah, but the beauty of valerian root being you can use it for however long you want to use it, and you can stop using it like that, no withdrawals or anything. Of course, if I get too stressed, I'd put this away and I just go buy some cigarettes.
Yeah.
And I spend 2 weeks learning to breathe again.
Yeah. Do you quit smoking?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
2 years now. I still vape. I'm still addicted to the nicotine. That was my one addiction out of choice.
Yeah.
If you get what I mean by that. But even my doctor and my COPD nurse, they cannot believe the results of my breathing tests now that I've been off cigarettes for a few years and vaping. You know, with COPD, you go down and down and down and down, you never go back up. But my breathing results have gone back up again.
That's good.
Plus, I'm not emptying out about 3/4 of a kilo of lung oysters every morning.
Yeah.
Wild turkey is a natural sleep aid too. I don't know. I think I'll be too busy chasing that with a gun. If I couldn't find a gun, I'd be looking to make a bow and arrow or a spear or something.
Yeah.
How's life been for you anyway, Joran?
Well, I have been busy through the years. And earlier this year, I got monetized.
Oh, wow. That's handy.
Yeah.
Have you made your first dollar yet?
Yeah, I think I had got 2 paychecks from them. It's a hard work to get the $100.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Before you get the pay.
And then they deduct tax from it.
Yeah. They take 130 crowns in taxes.
I'd ask to see the evidence that they've paid that into your tax contributions.
Yeah, the 130 goes to the US. That's US taxes, but
why should it go to the US? You're Danish. It's Denmark, isn't it? You're from Denmark or Sweden? I forget.
No, Sweden.
Oh, well, it's the United States of Europe that get it then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to forget.
That's a relief.
A friend of mine doesn't can, so he bought the food in jars, and I'm canning potatoes for him, keeping a couple of jars for the work. That's nice. You can take this down if not wanted. However, it's the Muppet Cabin video I mentioned. Everyone save and watch it later. Will do. Hey, CR. Good to see you.
That's fast. I just see you guys and I'm like already on the screen.
I'm joining.
Hey, Norma. Good to see you, Norma. Welcome to the stream, my friend.
How you doing?
I figure I do stuff while I'm on the stream. So I don't get cabin fever.
Well, if you don't watch your back, you can get it easily.
Get what easy?
So I was cabin fever.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was obvious.
Yeah, sorry, mate. My other half just got on a ferry on the other side of the North Sea to come over here for Christmas. She was, there you go. Can you hear the ding?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
I can hear that.
As soon as I want to do something online, I'll message you, and I'll keep on bloody messaging you.
So I do have a few things to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In time.
Go ahead, CR.
So, like Shadow said, I came up with this topic in advance because I was just thinking to myself, You gotta keep busy. I mean, it's wintertime here in the Northern Hemisphere right now. People tend to be inside more often, right? And well, I don't like being claustrophobic and staying inside too long. And I gotta keep busy like Bob too, right? Keep my hands busy. I gotta do something. I mean, I'll relax, you know, play games or watch something, but in time I gotta do something else. Or even if I'm watching something, I'll be like braiding or sewing. Just, you know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just have to pass by some time, right? It's just like anyone that's gone on international flights, gone for a car ride or like traveling, right? Like if you're driving, that's one thing. You're doing something, but if you're in the passenger side in the back seat, it's just like, well, you need stuff to do, right? And you can only talk so much. You can only make so much conversation, right? Before it gets stale. You're repeating yourself, so you gotta do stuff, right? And yeah, people listen to music, but I mean, like listening to music it's not really interactive. It's very passive. So, you know, people that do like knitting and stuff. I've known people they do knitting in the back seat. It's like, what are you doing? I'm just knitting, CR. Oh, okay. Right.
Oh.
And then next thing you know, 8 hours goes by fast.
Yeah, I couldn't personally do that because I don't travel well in the back seat of a vehicle. My version of interacting would be picking out the lumps of chunder from the driver's hair.
Well, that's something you gotta keep busy, right? I mean,
yep.
Well, I was gonna say, Shadow. Remember last week that I said I was away at a friend's place? I was gone for 7 days, by the way, right?
Yeah.
I took a little time away from YouTube for a little bit, right, and stuff like that. But you know, we were watching movies and playing some games or whatever. But I was still sewing. I was still braiding, just to vary up the activities, right? Just so it wouldn't be what's that?
Be honest, you're addicted to it.
Well, it's just so, like I said, variety, right? Adding some variety in. Just so it wasn't always stale or doing the same thing. So always doing different tasks and stuff like that, and trying to keep it fresh, right? Hence, that's why I do many different things.
Yeah.
Many different things, whatever it is. And like I said earlier in the chat, people were cooking during 2020 a lot, right? People were rediscovering it, right? Kind of deal, right? Ooh, look what I can make. People were baking breads and cupcakes and all that stuff. I mean, that's a form of creating, and, you know, it keeps your mind occupied, right? And you get to eat too. And I'm probably going to get hungry because I'm talking about food now. Dang it.
Well, things like sliced steak with fried onions and a nice fresh bread roll to layer it all out in. You don't want to go thinking about that if you think you're going to get hungry.
Mm-hmm. I see Drops is in here, so it's Nicole. For hanging around. What's up, Art? How's it going, man? I see you guys in the sub chat.
Hey, Art.
Hey, Ark Wildman. Good to see you,
Yes, my
brother.
eyes are getting worse. I can barely read it.
Like during 2020, I was like sewing. Like I played a few games just to vary up the activities, but I did sewing for like a whole week. I'm like, whoa, the whole week went by fast. Just keeping busy and stuff like that. In terms of the preparedness, I was like kit making, organizing some stuff and stuff like that. So just to keep it busy. Because during summertime, it's easy to get out more often and stuff like that. But during winter, you know, sometimes it's just like, oh, it's too cold outside here. I don't want to go out. So I'm doing other things. And of course, like stuff like these streams are very interactive. Joining a panel and just talking, right? And then next thing you know, it's like, 6 hours went by. 6 hours stream went by.
I know it might sound daft, but 2020 was no different to any other year for me. I think the only thing that differed was people were wearing a lot of masks in the shops. That was it. Mm-hmm. For me personally, it was no different to any other year. Now, all of a sudden, you got governments around the world crying out about mental health crisis and this, that, and the other, all as a result of being confined due to COVID.
Thanks, Kaylin.
When you've been confined pretty much to your house 360 plus days a year, you don't really notice much of a difference. But I did appreciate all the shit that I had to go through to acclimatise myself to being in the house all that time. For everybody else now suddenly have to do it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Can I bring up something, Shadow and Andy?
Yeah, sure.
I want to bring up, I think, like I said, to bring up like more real world examples or real life situations. Like when I go camping, right? I always see everyone on their phone. I'm like, I don't want to do that because it'll just get boring. I didn't come to go camping to be on my phone. I can do that at home. I could do that at a friend's place. I came out to enjoy the outdoors and stuff like that. It's just like how Bob would say, cleaning and making sure your tools and your bed are made. Well, when I go camping, I'll make sure camp's like organized and keeping busy like that, right? You know, it's like, oh, I get to make some firewood or whatever, right? It's just like, or the cooking or the cleaning and stuff like that. I'm trying to improve the situation, right? Improve your stance.
Yeah, the idea is to go off into the wild and rough it, but all the time you're there, you're trying to make life as comfortable as possible, so as you're not really roughing it as much as you could be.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'd be like, okay, well, let's put up my little solar battery bank or something like that, and just like keeping busy. Yeah. And of course, talking. There's people to talk to, right? But I was just like, I'm not even on a phone unless I'm like have to talk to someone or make a call. But besides that, I'm like, nah, I'm not. Because sometimes when I go camping, I'll see everyone around the fire. I'm like, seriously, is everyone on their phone really? I thought we came out to have get away from it all.
People want to spend all day on their phone when they're supposed to be away relaxing. Why bother leaving the apartment?
Well, yeah, I could do that at home. I came out to enjoy the outdoors kind of deal, right? Do stuff that I don't normally get to do at home, per se, right? Like maybe a campfire, something like that. Do stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe make something, bushcraft something up and stuff like that. Make a walking stick.
Yeah, when I was a kid and used to do a lot of camping every summer, one of the first things we'd do is in the area that we were in, there were loads and loads of reeds growing there. Mm-hmm. And once you got the tent put out, the next job was to go and chop down a ton of these reeds and lay them about 3 inches thick under the tent.
Oh, yeah. That reminds me of my.
There's one thing getting a bit of level ground, but I defy anyone to find perfectly flat level ground. Mm-hmm. There's always a rock or a tree root or something like that coming up.
Some anthill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that on my last camping trip over the summer, I actually took all this grass and then I piled it right underneath my tent, so to elevate and get off the ground more. It was great. I was just like, I didn't even need a sleeping pad. It's nice and comfortable, warm too.
Well, you've created your own sleeping pad, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. I was just like, oh. So it kept things doing stuff like that kept me busy, right? Because I was always actively in the morning or just after getting up or later in the day, I'd be like rearranging it, and fluffing it back up and stuff like that. Because obviously you compress it when you sleep on it and lay on it, but.
Yeah. But there's also the thing that when you discover these little things for yourself, there's a massive sense of accomplishment. And it might sound daft, but just waking up the next morning and not feeling like you've been mugged can make a huge difference.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right, I'm just telling the other half that I'll be at the quay about 6 a.m. to pick her up. Kind of uncivilized.
I don't think that's not happening anytime soon, Drops. I'm just saying. I see the comments.
No, that was on WhatsApp. That's what that dinging was. Hopefully, a free internet on the ship has now run out, and she'll leave me alone.
You know, Caitlin, what you said about as a YouTuber, yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Like, usually you're engaging into the camera or something like that. It's not like, wait, I gotta check my social media posts. And stuff like that. I mean, it's one thing to check messages, like some IMs that you came through or something like that. Oh, someone's coming already. You know, you gotta nap. That's boring, but it's totally different. It's like, I'm just gonna come out here and watch some TikTok or something like that. I don't want to do that.
Or sit there playing games on your phone all day and then complaining like hell when the battery's dead and you actually need the phone.
Yeah, or something like that, right? And it's like, where's the battery bank, CR? It's like, again? Or you're like, people are running their vehicles just to charge up their phone and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah. Or, for example, like organizing your tent while you're in there, right? You know, organizing your space, right?
While
Stuff
you're in
like
there.
that. Yeah,
That's
I mean, you're in there, right? I mean, like.
Yeah, that's about the most difficult thing for me to do. I just used to shove everything over one side and sleep on the other side. As long as my fishing gear was in there, my rifle was in there, I was happy.
Mm-hmm. Dancing.
Turn your guitar.
Go ahead.
That's funny because you say you like positive music, Nicole, but how do you define positive music? Because what's positive for one person can be really misery for another, and vice versa.
I mean, there's different types of music too, right? I mean, there's all sorts of different kinds of genres out there. So,
oh yes,
right. If you enjoy it, if it brings you joy or picks up your morale or picks up your mood, yeah, you know.
Or picks up your feet and makes you run when the local people around you don't like the sound of it and start chasing after you.
Like I've said earlier, I've already done singing and dancing on YouTube. I've already done that. So I can mark that off my to-do list already.
Yeah, can't dance, can't sing. I'll stick to a guitar. Can't play that very well, but at least it takes me somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly getting requests from the neighbours when I plug the electric guitar in. Can you play Far, Far Away?
Like I've known people to bring musical instruments while camping and stuff like that. I mean, it's nice, right? It's just like a guitar or something like that, harmonica or something like that, and it's just something while telling the camp stories, right, and stuff like that.
Especially
because I always see it.
Bit creative, and if someone wants to start telling ghost stories, I just start doing like this spooky sound on it.
Make shadow puppets. Use the handle of it and start making shadow puppets. Stuff like that.
Is that the final result, Hager? I only want to know if I'm going to have to put up with my 27-year-old son crying on my shoulder tomorrow.
They didn't win, Dad.
We never win.
It didn't happen.
Yeah, my son was playing football earlier in the year, and went just as fall was coming on. He tackled the bloke, started running away with the ball, went to pivot on one foot, and there's this loud bang, and he just ended up on the floor. He broke his own leg.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Just behind the ankle, because you got two bones in the bottom part of your leg, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
The one that sits behind the ankle, that's the one he snapped.
Yeah, I broke my foot on 2 places, so
That'll make
I
you
know
live.
how that feels.
Yeah, during 2020, I knew a lot of people that were like just outside shooting ball like a basketball, bouncing a ball, stuff like that. Right, just to keep busy. The deal with cabin fever, you gotta keep busy. Somehow, and hopefully vary up the activity so it doesn't seem repetitive. Keep it fresh as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's why I can't stand still for very long, and I like to do different things. Like I like doing a lot of things, but sometimes, it can get repetitive. I'm like, I gotta change up what I'm doing. Use a different part of my body.
Or a
Stuff
different
like that.
part of your brain.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's stimulation I'm getting through like the activity is different. So instead of shooting ball like for basketball, I start sewing. Instead of sewing, I'll start editing or something like that, just to vary up the activities.
Well, I don't know if it's my age or what, but in recent years I've been more and more content just to sit back, let the world go by, and just fiddle about and do the minimum required. Like being called a hooligan. Come to England, we've got a whole country full of those when it comes to football. I can remember when the English football fans were banned from most European countries.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Well, if you let the contents of a zoo go and support your team, what's going to happen?
On a homestead, there's always a choice of jobs. Indeed.
Yeah. Is there a choice, or is the only choice there what order you're going to do them in? And which ones are going to get left for another day? France might have won the football, but England won it, or Britain won its freedom. We dipped our toe into the European Union for too many years. At £16 million an hour.
Yeah, it's a very expensive membership.
Yep. The bit I never understood was the countries who put the most in get the least back.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
It's the customs clearance down near the quay here. And before the European Union, it was rush all the time. And then when we went back to work after the 1st of January 1993, we're sitting there looking at each other. Needless to say, the jobs didn't last long. Yep, something like that, Hendo. I'm lucky there, Drop. I've got no money to invest. My idea of a good investment is, do I buy rump steak or fillet steak?
Yeah.
Or even more expensive per kilo now. Nice piece of cod.
Indeed.
Like I said,
Oh,
chess, cards, right? I have a wooden chessboard.
yeah.
Some of my friends
Wooden
actually have
cheese.
a glass one. Yeah, chessboard.
Yeah,
Yep.
I haven't got
Here's
the
a random knight right here. Stuff like that. I got
Um,
playing cards and stuff like that. You know,
cards I can get along
just
with, but
activities I can do if I want to. I've shown this before in a video, quite a long time ago. So, and stuff to keep busy. It was during for a video response to someone. Things to do to entertain yourself, or with people and stuff like that. You know,
make your
things
own
like
chess
board games
sets.
and stuff like that.
You thought of making your own chess sets and selling them?
I've
The
never
moment
thought
you-
of that.
The moment you put handmade on a thing like a chess set, the price just goes up and up and up.
You know, I got one of these too. You know, crib, rummy, stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, okay.
I grew up playing cards.
Yeah. Cards and board games.
Yeah.
I learned how to shuffle cards like through the bridge when I was like 8. You know,
Okay.
with my cousin. Yeah, with my cousins and stuff like that. Used to always play card games. A lot. You know, back in the day.
I remember
Was
like
it
that.
poker you played or whatever?
Oh yeah, I know how to play poker too, right?
I've never played it. The nearest I've got to what you
I mean,
call
I
it.
got poker chips too. I got chips and stuff like that, you know.
I've got potato chips.
I didn't say crisp. I didn't say crisp.
No, you said chips.
Oh yeah. I know that all that terminology, you know. I've learned it from my international audience. All these are words. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what they call it over there. Oh, I see.
You know, if you go to the shop here and ask for a bag of chips, you'll come out with a big sack of wood shavings. Either that or some potatoes cut up into overly fat French fries.
How is the situation in UK now these days?
What situation?
Since you dropped out of EU.
The only way I've seen it affect me is my other half lives in Belgium. And even if I send her a birthday card, customs hang on to it for a couple of weeks, trying to extort money. And yet, under EU law, she's allowed to receive a gift as long as it does not exceed, I think it's €46. And when you've spent £1.99 on a birthday card or a Christmas card,
Yeah.
it just defies belief. The postage cost me 5 times what the card does.
Oh boy.
Oh, that's easy to read.
Hey Claire, good to see you.
Hi, Claire.
I just
Hi,
bought
Claire.
my nephew's card games for Christmas, cunningly hidden as Harry Potter games. Okay.
You know, there's a lot of new, different kind of games out there lately, like quote unquote card games or board games. I've seen a variety of different ones on so and of course it's a different type of game to play. And some of these, well, most of these card games or board games, you don't need the electricity, right? You just need to be able to see the pieces.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So you could just, you know, let's just say there was a power outage or whatever for extended period of time. I mean, like, Some people might get bored. I mean, like,
Yeah.
let's just say, you have a generator or whatever, but you might be like, oh, no, we can't. You can only play an hour at most, right? Because it's going to consume too much power. Well, then do these other type of games, right? And some of these games are very beneficial to the mind, right? In terms of not just problem solving, but thinking. Like Scrabble, for example, word games like that, right? I like word games. I like word games.
Trouble is, if you and I were to play Scrabble, we'd end up having an argument.
That's hyphenated.
No.
That's not a word. It's hyphenated.
How do you spell colour?
Colour, because I live here in Canada.
Ah, you're Canadian. I take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
I actually have a Canadian icon. I just put on the water one. I can actually change that. I usually, like I said, have that one on. I'll put the Canadian one back on. There we go. I'll just put that back on. I should put that on for Andy here. You got the point. It's like, oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Okay,
it's just like words like flavor.
Cool.
I mean, there's word games that you can play without even like barely any like supplies or resources. I mean, look at all the kind of games that they have on per se TV, right? You can actually do those kind of games at home, like word games and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not even going to get into that, Claire, because the conspiracy side of me digs in real deep. I can push this recession straight back to the start of the pandemic and the reaction of the governments to it. The British government took COVID off the high consequence infectious disease list 3 days before they put us into our first lockdown. And that's not just a conspiracy thing. You can read that on the Gov.uk website. Bird flu's still on there. But I don't remember when a few cases of bird flu hit Britain, they locked everything down, or people had to go around wearing a mask.
Yeah.
You got other things on there like Black Plague. Yeah, I'd say that is a serious consequence infectious disease.
When my son was a teenager, not how much we had an ongoing Monopoly game that would last days. It was our way to connect. Yeah.
Very cool.
Well,
it's another great idea.
Yeah, that's cool. Just stuff like that, right? I mean, like, it's just like I was playing chess online with people, and let's say get card games like Uno or something like that,
I don't blame it. Oh, I can't remember that. Gear grinding.
Well, gear, sometimes people will be more open to it once it actually happens, let's just say.
Yeah, and they're the first ones going out to order a pallet load of toilet paper.
Don't even start me on that crap. I'm just kidding.
No pun intended.
I had to throw in the CR word in there.
That was a very cruddy thing to do.
Yeah.
Hey, Vanessa Kitty. Good to see you.
Vanessa? Nice to see you. Yeah, Vanessa Kitty here. She definitely likes to do stuff. She's definitely a creator.
Yeah, she's really creative.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy what she makes. Like that that tripod stool or something like that she was making. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like projects like those keep you busy.
I remember boasting to someone over the phone once that when I'm standing in a pub, I'm the only man that's on a tripod. And they, yeah, full of boast. I said, no, I'm on a walking stick. So all of a sudden, they changed their tone. I find a cork helps, Vanessa. A nice thick cork with rough edges. If you can cut a thread on there so as you can screw it in, that'll help sort your diarrhea out for you.
Oh.
But you might get a runny nose after a while.
And that might not be the only thing running.
Also, a couple of teaspoons of, what's it called? Super glue, first thing in the morning. That helps.
That is good, Vanessa. That just leather tripod stool works well.
That's cool.
I'd be too scared to sit on it. It's just too heavy nowadays. Although I have lost a lot of weight since I was live with Sty.
Yeah, I can see you have lost a lot of weight. How much did you lose?
I don't know how much I weighed, but in 2014, when my father died and I had to buy a suit for his funeral, the 50-inch chest jacket, what's that, 2.54 times 50 is 130 centimeter chest jacket.
Yeah.
The buttons were trying to do this, you know?
Yeah.
Now, if I was to put that same jacket on, I'd look like a 7-year-old child trying on his dad's suit jacket. I think I was up to about 22 stone at that point. I'm now down to about 14.
Well,
that reminds me of someone, though. So,
Okay.
pun intended. It's one of these things I've been getting more and more into lately is the sewing and mending. I don't know why. I think it's because I enjoy it and it's like, obviously it's a skill that I can practice on. And it's a form of creating for me because usually, well, the mending usually isn't, but the sewing part, usually I'm making something. It's just like that pouch that I showed earlier in the year. I mean, it took me, I spread out that work over like months of doing it, right? But I was just like, kept me busy, learned from it. I mean, it's useful. I mean, like, to me, it's just like win-win-win. I'm like, yes, I made something, learned from it, and it's useful. And I made a video. So I got to watch time out of it too. Stuff
I
like
did
that.
it as a dinner table, Kaden.
Maybe I should make a stool.
I think
Maybe I
she
should make a
responded to Vanessa Kitty's leather stool, tripod stool.
I have made a stool once when I was out camping. It was very, very, very basic. But I was using it, I just made it from some sticks to make a footrest.
I thought you was about to say, but I had to go and dig a hole to put it in.
No. I made it for fun, right? Sometimes I just make stuff for fun. It's just like this walking stick. People are like, "Aren't you taking your walking stick with you?" I'm like, "No, I just made it for fun. It was just an activity for me, to practice."
Yeah.
It wasn't anything special. I can make that anytime I want. It's just something to keep busy with and stuff like that.
The 26-inch stool height, that'd do me just right for an eating table. Assuming I was at camp, because you don't tend to take a chair to sit in. So you're going to be sitting on your butt on the floor. 26-inch height, that'll bring my food nicely up to my face.
Yeah.
Very handy if you're having stew or soup. Especially with those first few spoonfuls that are way too hot to eat.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've made a little. Well, I've used stuff and I made stuff to act like coasters because sometimes the bowl's too hot to hold, and you want to put it down on something and stuff like that, but you want to hold it in your hands, right? To bring a coaster, bring this, and stuff like that, so you don't. Yeah.
My
So I've tried
walking
stuff
stick
like
is
that.
for the rooster. He's a total jerk. Even tried to take it, go at me today while I was feeding him. Lol.
Listen, Drop, Christmas is coming. You don't have to eat turkey. Just point that out to the rooster that you do not have to eat turkey this year.
It will be rooster or what?
On the chopping block.
My best walking stick, I paid 20 pence. What's that? 25 cents for that. Cut like a yard sale back in 1995, and it's still going strong.
That reminds me. Usually, one of the activities now I do when I go camping, well, after setting up camping and stuff like that, one of the things I start doing is making a baton stick. It's usually for different tasks and stuff like that. And I can use it like a push stick with a fire or something like that.
Yeah.
It's one of the activities I start doing right away. It's just things I can do, right?
The amount of people I've seen use little more than a twig to keep their fire all in place and this, that, and the other. And by the end of the night, what started off as a 3-foot long twig is now down to about 4 or 5 inches.
Yeah.
You still like your knives, Joran?
Say it again.
You still in love with your knives?
Yep.
I can't remember if I had this before I stopped going to Styes.
Oh, I think I remember that one.
That ain't a knife.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, let me go get something. No.
Wait.
We're going this way? We're going this way? This is a knife. No, I'm just kidding.
That's no knife. This
not
is a
that
knife.
Joran or I have problems, but all these are just laying around to hand. Is that one that I had made?
That one is really gorgeous.
Okay.
That was black feather one.
Okay.
Oh, Shadow. I think I know that one you just showed. I think I remember that one now.
Who did you say? Kenny Rogers?
No, I said that knife that he just showed. I think I remember that one.
They sit in here at all different sizes. Probably my most heavily used one.
Yeah, it looks very well used.
Look at that edge though, the shine on it, or the polish.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Really nice.
That's about an hour with slate. Using slate on the stone after you've sharpened it. And there's pocket knives.
That reminds me.
Everywhere.
That reminds me. I keep bringing this Mora out now every time I go camping. Ever since I got it, it always comes with me when I go camping now.
Those cheap little Mora knives are some.
Well, no. This is a very old Mora. This knife is older than many of us here, because it's back from the 50s. It's very, very old. I mean, it's not that old, but it's old enough. It's old enough to be older than me, Shadow, and you, probably.
My Mora companion.
Probably almost.
Very cool.
Actually, I won this on a giveaway.
All right. Not being funny, they're not expensive knives, but they do their job so well.
Indeed.
Those borers.
You knew Shadow would use that word eventually. I knew it.
Hey, Cobalt.
Hi, Connor.
Corner Clubhouse.
Yeah, I'll go for the first word, and that's about it. My eyes start going doolally after that.
Hi, Corner Clubhouse.
Right down the bloody bottom it would be.
I mean, I got a Victorinox in my pocket, I guess.
That thing I bought from a DIY shop locally.
Yeah.
Got some filth on the blade. That'll have to come out.
Oh, that's cool.
Do you know they were advertising it? They got an old house brick that was damaged, so they can't sell it. And they got this on the house brick, and they got a hammer in it. Bang, bang, bang. Chopping through bricks with it.
Oh, wow.
You remember that one that I sent to Sty?
Yeah, vaguely, but...
The brother of that one.
that one.
Can't even remember what it is.
A BK2.
Bugger if I know. Rowan, ROWEN, SE5, ESEE5.
Yeah.
It's only a short knife, but man, it's heavy. About 5.5, 6 mil, the thickness of the blade. Lovely and strong until you want to go through a really hard bit of wood.
Mm.
Then you end up wishing you had a thinner knife.
Yeah, and you remember this one.
Yep. You got the same thing going on with that I got with the one that sleeps under my pillow in my bedroom. Ended up making a great big rope dongle for it. Don't know why. I just thought it'd look nice.
Yeah.
It's got no practical purpose to it.
Oldest knife. Gerber 525 with a Hypalon handle. It is a fixed blade that has been on every hunt, etc. since 1982. Huh.
Very
That's
nice.
a long time.
It's what, 40 years old now?
Yeah.
None of the knives that I had when I was younger lasted me.
I have a more Cansball.
Oh, that's cool, too.
I did buy more stainless.
Yeah, the more I have, it's carbon steel.
Yeah, I did buy more stainless because every time I go near seawater with a knife, it comes away this lovely golden brown color.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, I have a stainless.
Yeah, but that's my only
One of
knife.
my friends gifted it to me.
Apart from kitchen knives, that's the only one of my knives that's stainless.
Mm. I think I have more stainless than carbon steel. Or high carbon steel, I should say.
Yeah. Spring steel was pretty good as well.
Yeah. Especially those blades that are made from leaf springs.
Yeah, cookery.
That are, yeah.
The ones that are made for going around the corner. They look more like a boomerang when you take it out of the sheath. Just remember, I want another knife and order it. Yes. around.
And what kind of knife was that, Drops? Yeah, around marine areas, spring stainless steel. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not only that. If you're using ropes or anything sort of paracord upwards,
Yeah.
and they're man-made fibers, they just, no matter how well you polish your blade, that edge is basically like a saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you magnify it, it looks like a saw blade.
Yeah.
And you go cut nylon or polyester or polyethylene or anything like that with it, and it just fills up all those gaps between the teeth, so to speak.
Let's see.
Oh, that's my
Most
age.
survival hunting knife with sheath, 15-inch fixed blade, tactical Bowie knife with sharpener and fire starter for camping, outdoor bushcraft. Okay, that's cool.
15-inch blade. That's not a knife. That's a bloody machete.
My issue, machetes are carbon steels. Keep them lightly oiled. The one I have is stainless steel, so.
You know that film, The Book of Eli?
Yeah.
I always fancied that machete that he's got in there.
Yeah. That's a really nice piece.
Yeah.
And besides, I have that movie.
Trouble is, something like that, if I went out to the woods, that'd end up being an anchor for me. After a while, I wouldn't be able to walk far carrying the damn thing.
Yeah. I have big hands, lol. My machete is nice too. I can chop 2-inch tree branches off with it.
Nice.
That's cool.
I agree with you, Vanessa.
Moose. What's the nearest we've got to moose in this country? Probably a roe deer.
Okay, Drops, no problem. You have to eat.
Don't blame me, Drop. Enjoy.
See, that's why I ate before I joined. See, I'm learning.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, I figured that out.
I'm just like, I better eat beforehand. Viewers probably gonna be like,
so you're 15.
Are hungry. No, I'm immune to it because I ate before.
Big here.
Jesus. What were those elk that used during and before the Ice Age used to be in America? They were absolutely massive. They'd have horns with up to a 12-foot span on them.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that never ceases to amaze me, how archaeologists reckon that man could have hunted the most biggest, dangerous animals that are out there to extinction, namely the mammoths. They absolutely tower over modern elephants. They reckon they hunt them to extinction with pointy sticks, basically.
That is good.
Well, yeah, atlatls and stuff like that. And of course, bows and stuff that later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Human hyper. Human.
Did I tell you, Shadow? I tried that before.
What was that? CR? Sorry.
I actually did try an atlatl before. I just for fun, right? It's just like I understand the standing of it because it increases your what's it called, the leverage or something like that. I can understand it. I just made my not the arrow part, but what's that called, the throwing stick part too short. But I can understand that it's just like increases your range of motion and stuff like that. But I just did that for fun, right? I was just like, just to understand it. I'm like, oh, okay, now I can understand it. Stuff like that. So I just made it too short. I should have made it longer. Maybe I'll try again. Mm.
I don't blame you, Nicole.
So, Andy and Shadow, I was just thinking, getting back to our topic of the cabinet fever again.
Yeah.
I mean, we just sharpen our tools here. So to speak.
Well, that
I was just like thinking earlier. It's just like
you're off camera, CR. What you're doing personal space is entirely up to you.
No, I'm just like kind of rearranging a few things while I talk to you guys.
That's no problem.
Just to keep busy too. Oh, like I said, during the start of 2020, I was like really more inclined to like kit making a lot more. I was just making stuff and just putting together stuff all the time for the longest period of time. I'd be like on the side just making something, sewing something up, making something, creating something, putting something together and stuff like that. To the point that now I gotta organize more of it. But it keeps me busy. Pardon me?
I said, you got the idea gardening, Maureen?
I didn't hear.
Just like a bunch of men sharpening their tools.
Yeah.
You can see my hands.
Well, I did that too. I'm trying to top off my battery, but my battery always goes down so fast in these streams. Like literally, I have a backpack right next to me. I almost decided to bring out the Mora that's in there. I almost did. It's a stainless steel version. I think I actually showed you that one, Shadow. I think I've shown you that one in a private chat. I think I've shown you that one. Did I ever show you the blue Mora? I thought I've shown you that. I know I've shown you a Mora, but I think I'm not sure if I showed you the blue one. I have. My friend gifted it to me, so. I mean, it's been out camping once with me at least, but now since I have this other Mora, I use this other Mora more often.
That's why I use that little one so much. It just fits my hand so nicely.
I know. I just love this other Mora. It just fits my hand nicely too. Full tang.
Yeah, keep wishing, Kaylin. My birthday's in 15 days and I won't be seeing a knife.
Hey, Rebel Canners. Good to see you.
Hi, Tammy. I didn't realize she was in here.
So we got RC and CR.
Hey, Leonard Lund.
Oh, she just
Hi, Leonard. Oh, I didn't realize she was in here. I know Q's in here.
How are you doing, Leonard?
I take it Rebel Canners as Tammy.
Yeah.
No, we got another one. No.
She's probably trying to reconnect for something.
Yeah.
Hi, Rebel Canners. We just had your twin up there.
Oh, there she is.
Yeah, I arranged that, so.
Oh. Hi, Tammy.
Hello.
Hi,
Oh.
Tammy. You got as far as
Hello.
when?
How do I take that away?
How do you what?
Ah, I take my chances.
Such is the life of a man these days.
Oh.
She has problem with her connection. She probably has a problem with her connection.
Yeah. That was another thing that I didn't see anything of.
It wasn't too bad when she said hi.
Yes, hi, and that was the one word of the conversation.
Hey, Warren. Good to see you.
Hey, Warren.
Hi, Warren. See you again.
About the nearest I've got to ever doing anything like canning is pickling onions. My mother always knew when I'd been sneaking a few out the jar. So you got your annual snowfall yet, Joran?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had frost this morning, if that counts.
Yeah, we have. Today we have 6 degrees Celsius.
I wish I could get 6 degrees Celsius. By the way,
Yeah.
that's about 46 Fahrenheit for you guys in the US.
Well, it's blue, so.
Yeah.
6 Celsius.
Yeah, for today.
I wish I was getting that. I know it's possible to get it here.
But on Tuesday we
I
get
know
more fun.
It's possible, just not today.
When the sun came out here for a while, it was lovely here today. But this morning, when I went down to the cash point to get some money out, according to the car, it was -1.5 degrees. And that just shouldn't be happening at my latitude. That's your sort of weather, Joran, not mine.
Yeah.
I mean, if it helps, I can go outside and show you guys snow. Again. Like last week and the week before and the week before.
Scratch and sniff vision. Yeah, don't want any of that snow over here.
I'm still debating if I want to make a Quincy this year. I haven't actually started it. A Quincy is a form of a snow shelter. It's different on how you do it compared to an igloo. Because you pile the snow, then you hollow it out up on the inside to make the shelter part or the cavity.
You could go the...
But it takes time to do it. Because you actually have to let the snow set. Mm-hmm.
You could go the kiddie route if you want to pile the snow and just make snowmen everywhere. Just keep rolling these huge balls of snow down the street.
Well, I can't really do that. It's not quite warm enough. If the temperature was like -4, let's see, 26 Fahrenheit out, yeah, or higher, then I probably could. Because the snow's not sticky enough to roll it, really. It's either frozen or it's too fluffy. Or too much air in it, so it doesn't really stick if you roll it. I mean, if I had water out there, yeah, it will stick, but
Now that could be fun, especially if you live on a hill. Just go out with a gardening hose before you go to bed and stand there for an hour, walk the street down.
Kaylin, I wish I was getting 1 Celsius. That's 33 Fahrenheit. I know. Well, I didn't check on the temperature today, but it was sunny. Seems like it's clouding over. It's probably like minus, I don't know, 6 out or something. I would have to check. Yeah, I would have to check. Probably around like 25, 24 Fahrenheit. Something like that. In the 20s.
I don't know what it works out as in Fahrenheit, but when I was 16, 17, on the ship I worked on, we took a load of cargo to Szczecin in Poland. And that was long before the wall came down. And that was minus 24 there in the morning. That was beyond freezing.
That's about what minus? Because I know minus 24 is about minus 11 Fahrenheit. Because minus 30 is minus 22 Fahrenheit.
I don't know. I just called it.
Remember, everyone, conversion has CR in it, so I'm getting better at it. For all my hours, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at remembering the numbers now.
Practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm. Or like the Book of Eli.
You're breaking up, Sia.
Yeah.
Make progress, not perfection, or something like that.
Ah.
It's one of those sayings in that movie.
So I just had this vision of a big avalanche coming down over your place.
Guys, I think I have to wrap things up because I'm a pretty
Apparently,
tired.
LG likes that fluffy.
Yeah.
I had a long day, so I need to wrap things up now. So I hope you don't mind. I'm sorry.
No, I don't mind. I've got to have an earlier night than normal as well because I've got to be standing on that quay waiting for our ship to arrive at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
The local priest will not want to be there because I won't be happy standing in the cold.
Will do, Kaylin. Thanks, guys, for hanging on and stopping by, and I appreciate that, guys.
It's good seeing you again.
And it's good to see you too, Andy. So,
still breathing, still causing trouble, still upsetting people.
Yeah. As I said, I had a long day, so I'm pretty tired. I was waking up 4:30 this morning, so you can't keep going for that long now. So, but 2 hours 48 minutes is better than nothing. So,
God, yeah.
And I'm happy that I got so many people on here for today's stream. So
I don't know what happened there.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And thanks for the thumbs up. And take care, guys. Stay safe.
No problem. You too, Yoren. See you later.
Did I miss something?
See you later. I wrapped things up now.
Oh, you're wrapping things up. I'm just like, I just got back and I missed everything. Of course I DC right
Thank
there.
you, Gear.
All right.
Will do.
Shadow, I need to talk to you after this, by the way, for a little bit. If you don't mind. If you have time. All right. Anyways, take care, everyone.
Take care. Stay safe. God bless.